everybody? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to March. March Madness is just what we have in the state of Illinois. The best high school basketball teams going at it. And today, and this entire week, we're going to cover the 4A side of the bracket. Specifically today, the Downers Grove North Trojans against my own Moline Maroons, as they will play for a chance in the championship at State Farm Center in Champaign. So let's break down the matchup. Let's break down all you need to know about the game so that you are all set up for the 4A semifinal game 2, the first of which is going to be at 2:30 between Winnetka and Bennett. We're going to get to a bit of that a little bit later. But first, let's talk a bit about the Downers Grove North Trojans. They're 32-3 overall. They're 10-2 in their conference. A very stacked conference at that. They've got all the best teams, and a lot of the best teams in Chicago packed into that conference. And 10-2 in a very tough conference is something the Maroons have to look at pretty carefully. They're 4th in the state in 4A. They're 6th in the entire state for many A. So very similar to the Maroons as well. They've won 19 in a row, so they've got all the momentum in the world. They had a nice crowd at Capital One Bank Arena in Chicago the other day in that super sectional game in which they took that one. So they're red hot. They've got a good little crowd following. And they score almost 60 points per game. So they're going to be able to score. And what they're known for is their shooting. Their tallest guy's only 6'7". So it'll be interesting to see how they're able to match up inside with the big guy, 7-footer Owen Freeman for Illinois or for Moline. And they're also a very good defensive team. They outscore their opponents by almost 17 per game, scoring 59, allowing only 42. So they're both on good sides of the ball. They got some dominant guards who can shoot and play defense on the other end. So Downers Grove is a very top quality team, which is, obviously all these teams are late in this season. But they've got a lot of characteristics similar to the Maroons. So we'll see how that can all match up. Now, for Moline, they're 33-3 overall. They're 14-0 in the Big Ten, in the Western Big Six Conference. They won it outright easily. Few teams in that conference have had their big struggles, but there are also a lot of strong teams, such as UT, Rocky, Sterling in there as well. So not an easy Western Big Six conference at all whatsoever, but Moline, they just blew by all those opponents too. So they know, they didn't just win these games, they won them big, and they showed that they were very capable of getting to this spot in the playoffs, and they did just that. They're 2nd in 4A in the state, behind only Bennett, who was playing Winnetka in that later game. They're 4th in the state completely. 14 wins in a row. Obviously, that last one was against Chicago Simeon, who is in the semifinal for 3A, along with East St. Louis, who also the Maroons beat by about 20 early on in the season. So two very good 3A teams that are in the semifinals that Moline went 1-1 with. They score 72 points per game. These dominant guards like Brock Harding, Grant Welch, who can shoot the ball to get it inside to Owen Freeman, who's a man of his own. Harding and Freeman both going to Iowa. And a few strong defenders. Jasper Ogburn, watch out for 10 on the defensive end. Freeman can get up there and block. 48 points allowed per game. That's almost a 30-point difference. And they have dominated the playoffs. They show that they could win close games after that last win in that super sectional in Illinois State. So these teams are very evenly matched. They've got some stellar guards with lockdown defense. I think they'll match together very nicely, and it should be another competitive game. It's at the State Farm Center in Champaign, 4:15 p.m. That'll follow the Winnetka versus Bennett game to decide who the loser of this game is going to play at 8:15 that night, or 8:45 that night, and then who we see in the championship at 7 o'clock the next night, all at the State Farm Center in Champaign, Illinois. It's going to be a great weekend of basketball. Stay tuned on my Twitter, at Grant Dahlstrom, and Grant the Sports Guy, this channel right here, for all coverage of the weekend for the Moline Maroons. They will take on the Downers Grove North Trojans, looking for a spot in the state championship game in 4A for the state of Illinois. Stay tuned for coverage all week long. Hope you enjoyed this game preview, and let's go Maroons!